It says.
What?
It says I'm live here.
Phone's working then. Right. See if you can just get out of this and go live on the. I'll tell everybody on the chat.
Live here. I don't know what you want me to do. They'll just have to come find me.
I mean, so you can go live on your computer.
No. I can't figure out where my chat is, guys. With this. Hi. Hi. I was trying to take my gum out of my mouth. Trying to have live over here. Did you tell them? Listen, can you get my stand over here? There's the chat. Aha. He's doing okay, Lashes. He's gonna have surgery next Friday or Thursday.
Friday.
Yeah, he's having surgery next Friday to remove the stone because they said it's impassable. That I'm wondering why I got a stone last year, and he's got a stone this year. You know.
Yeah. You want to do this?
Does it need to be that high?
I don't know. I can't tell without seeing it.
Because I don't want to show. I got a specific lane in my house that's appropriate. Let me try to get over here. I don't think they're seeing our messages over there. Hi, there's Kenneth. Okay, Chris. Okay.
Let me get over here and see if I know the computer while you're messing with that.
I don't know what happened. I don't know what's wrong with my computer, but it's not letting me go live over there. So I had to whip out my phone. Can you hear me, Chris? Lashes, can you hear me? There's always some kind of chaos every time I try to go live. Like, I've never had computer trouble going live. This is a different kind of trouble. And I assume it's because of the storm, but my phone worked. Oh. How did you do this? How are we up on both phones? That's weird, you
If you're using
guys.
your phone as a camera, I just pull it up on a computer.
Okay.
You're basically.
Well, I'm going to let you have that seat then, because that's going to drive me to distraction right there. Man. All right. Well, at least we made it. I didn't want to just say, oh, I failed and bow out.
Oh, cool. Okie said he dropped this link over there.
Woo! See, now I see that my gray hair, it's like blonde down here and then gray up here. Is it just the lighting? I feel like now I just need to cut all my hair right here and just let it go. It would look strange to me. How are you guys doing? I want y'all to know, anybody that's got snow on their vegetation out there, you know, even with climate change, I feel like this is all part of God's little plan. He knew we needed a winter, so we're getting it now. But if you got chickens, all the stuff that gets ruined out there in the next couple of days or the next week, it just becomes food for them, which goes back into the poop, which goes back into the soil that you make with your composting. And if you don't have chickens, you just throw it in your composting. So all is not lost. There is no waste if you have a garden and you have chickens. And I thought it was really funny that we would explore Antarctica because we're all living in Antarctica right now. And do you want to say a quick prayer and send out some loving thoughts, because there's been another wild shooting in Minnesota, but that's all I'm going to say about anything like that. Hey, Miss T. Miss T. For some reason, my computer wouldn't go. It just wasn't hooking up and going live, so I had to abandon that one and come over here to the phone. So there's always a hiccup here.
The suspicious mastermind.
Suspicious mastermind? What?
Passionately intrigued darts. We got some new people here.
Hey, passionately intrigued? Pia. That's what I call her on chat.
The other one was the suspicious mastermind 2011. Says, hey, the hair don't look too bad.
It don't look too bad? Listen, we ain't critical of anybody like we're critical of ourselves. I'll tell you that. And it's a transformation letting my natural hair color come out. So yeah, Mr. Man over here's got to go get his let me turn that a little bit because he's got stuff to say too.
No, not really.
I'm sorry if the angle's a little. I really would prefer to use my camera, but like I said, I couldn't get it to go. And yes, my mic was charged this time, just so you know. So anyway, he's got to go get a kidney stone taken out, and I'm over here trying to figure out why we keep getting kidney stones. So I'm going to make sure they tell me exactly what his kidney stone is made out of. So maybe that can give us a clue. And I'm also looking to get my water tested, because we have hard water here, and I drink a lot of water. He doesn't drink a lot of water, but we use the water to make tea, and he drinks a lot of tea.
Fish do bad things in water.
So there's just, I want to know why we're getting kidney stones, both of us. That's what I got going on here.
Someone else new. We live. I am from Turkey.
Turkey. Hello. Hello, everybody that's come for the first time. I appreciate the love and support. And how are you guys doing? What are y'all's temperatures? Can you tell me? What are we, Larry? I guarantee you, we feel like 0, maybe a degree or 2 above, maybe below. We've gotten more snow during the day. Is it over?
No, it's supposed to technically keep going through tomorrow morning.
So this is the second wave they've been talking about for 2 days now. It wasn't. I watched the weather like a hawk. Because y'all gardeners, you know, we got to watch the weather like a hawk. And it ain't good enough just to watch the TV weather. Oh, no. I like to go see Ryan Hall for a minute, or look at the radar and my AccuWeathers or whatever. I'm kind of into weather. You know, I got a degree in journalism. It's not, I didn't go all the way, but I did get my associates, you know. And like, I lived in Colorado by a mountain, so if you know about living by a mountain, the radar doesn't really work. If you live near, well, when the storm's coming up the other side of the mountain, you know, the radar kind of just blips out and you don't get to see what is happening on the mountain, which is pertaining to what's going to be happening to us, you know. I learned that all in Colorado, and I could pretty much predict what we were going to be getting. I like weather. Who has time for that all? But, you know, I knew there's going to be a second wave. I just don't know how long the second wave is going to last. We've got probably, what, 6 inches out there? Maybe 8?
I said about 8.
8 inches.
Chris was asking if you heard from Crooked Peach lately.
Crooked Peach. Now, I don't want to speak too much on Crooked Peach, because I'm not Crooked Peach, but she is just taking a little break. She's getting her, they did some construction like we did, getting some stuff fixed up around there, but she's trying to get a new computer system up and running so that she can make better, she wants to start editing and making better videos and perfecting her content. And I do talk to her. I haven't talked to her since yesterday.
Was it yesterday? Is it that soon?
I talked to her by text yesterday. But that's what I know about her. So send her love somehow. Just go, if you can post on her community page or just comment on a video. Let her know we still love. Because I love.
Okay, it's 12
I miss her lives in the morning. I've been kind of lost, actually. I'm glad y'all brought it up. Because I wanted to say something, but I didn't want to just speak out of turn. And I'm trying to be respectful of her privacy. So there's Peach. And truthfully, you guys know it's just hard to last through the winter. It's hard to find meaningful content, you know.
Calamity Jane's here.
Hey, Calamity! Calamity, did you get power? She had her power knocked out, guys. And I said, Lord, please don't let that happen to me. Let Jane get her power back, please. It'd be a Donner party over here if we don't get to watch TV, you know. We'll have heat. We are 12 degrees. Real feel is -4. And we have snow starting in 14 minutes here. 4 degrees. Oh, I saw it. Where did it go? 4 degrees here in Michigan, zone 6A. Ooh wee. You got that Great Lakes stuff. I bet it don't feel so great.
Jane says they got their power back right as they were ending the live. Or
Good.
She says yes as we were ending the live. I assume that means she got the power.
Good. Let's pray for the power to stay on. Let's pray for everyone's, you know, the homeless community at this time. It's very, very, you know, there's not enough places for these people, and some people just wouldn't go, period. So, you know, pray for everyone. If you know anybody, check on them. Okay, did you guys know that Antarctica froze over 35 million years ago? It is the largest desert on Earth. We've explored less than 5% of what's underneath the ice. It's extremely isolated, has a deadly climate, and treacherous surrounding oceans. For a long time on ancient maps, it was called Terra Australia Incognitas. The average thickness of Antarctic ice is about a mile thick, 1.5 to 2 kilometers, but can be as thick as 4.8 kilometers or 3 miles. That's a lot of ice. So whatever land Antarctica has, it hasn't been physically seen or explored. There are subglacial lakes. East Antarctica has Lake Vostok, which we'll talk about later. It is about the size of Lake Ontario. There is a massive, excuse me for flipping around my notes. There's a massive rugged landmass with mountains, valleys, and plains beneath Antarctica's ice as well. A canyon longer than the Grand Canyon, vast plains, some areas of bedrock that are significantly below sea level. One of these is by the Byrd Glacier. Byrd is he's a World War II general. Was he a general?
Admiral.
And he was heavily involved in the 1940, 1950 era and beyond exploration of Antarctica and stuff like that. So it's just a little Antarctica as we know it today. That's what we know about it. There are, you know, research stations. There's a base at the South Pole. And tell you the truth, I've seen the map of Antarctica, and you guys should probably look at it too at some point, or all these places are just kind of some nonsensical. If you've ever looked at the map of Antarctica, it's kind of a big area. But from our research and what we've seen, the mapping of what land is supposedly under the ice, it really follows the shape of the ice that's there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, subtropical past of Antarctica. It was once part of the supercontinent known as Gondwana. It featured lush green forests with temperatures reaching 17 degrees, which is 62.6 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, you guys should also know this, okay, like we're coming into spring right now. This is their fall coming into their winter, because our winter is their summer. So that's interesting. It's just opposite. There's a dinosaur graveyard basically in Antarctica. One of the things they found was actually Nessie. You know, was it a plesiosaur? What people think that Nessie might be in Loch Ness. Well, there's fossils of those down there. And they have something called a terror bird. Terror bird. It has another big name, but Terror. 56 million years ago, flightless terror birds, 6 foot tall birds. They inhabited the jungles of Antarctica. They had, they had really little wings. You want me to scoot over?
No, I was just shutting the curtain. I noticed the light was blaring.
Well, I was hoping they'd get to see my snow back there, but it got dark. Okay, where was I? 6 foot tall, powerful hooked beaks had really tiny wings and strong legs, using their bills to strike and kill prey. Fossil records date from the Eocene era to the Pleistocene era. Now, I may not be saying those wrongs. Right. They they ranged for a long time, and actually some species even migrated to North America when that landmass kind of broke up and the is called the Isthmus of Panama formed. That's like a chain of islands. Okay. So, this bird he got around, he traveled. Aristotle was the first in written history to hypothesize about Antarctica, its existence, and the first debated landing on the Antarctic mainland is often attributed to American sailor Captain John Davis on February 7th, 1821 at Hughes Bay. But I'm telling you, as long as there's been people running around in boats, they've been trying to get places, and I bet you 10 to 1, the history that we've uncovered for ourselves as humans, it's a drop of the bucket of what's been on this earth. That's what I believe, and there's no telling what we might find over there when the ice is melted. In fact, I watched like 3 Antarctica documentaries today, guys. I got all kind of facts swimming in my head. Polynesian tribes have in New Zealand, the Moai, they have a legend from a long time ago that says their people went all the way down to Antarctica, and I don't know, just scoped it out. So we also have more evidence of other ancient kind of people having legends of coming from a place like that. Indians. Okay. However, the first fully documented and undisputed landing took place on January 24th, 1895 at Cape Adair by Norwegian explorer Karsten Borchgrevink. And the first sighting at sea was by Fabian Gottlieb Bellingshauer, January 28th, 1820. Man, we're by the anniversary for that. Well, I'm not a pronouncer, traditionally.
Good Lord, they didn't have to use every letter in the alphabet.
Right. And like I said before, sailors and sea hunters are probably the first explorers of Antarctica, period. I have a little bit more. West Antarctica contains Mercer Lake. That's a big underground lake, or under ice lake under there. And yeah, isolated sunless ecosystems. There are over 400 interglacial lakes. In short, Antarctica is weird because it's a stranger, but also because strange things have occurred while we've investigated it. All right, do you want to go into some of your stuff, or like I don't?
A lot of that is already you've already mentioned. I mean, I can read it real quick if you want me to.
Yeah, I need to compose myself.
Okay, the notebook. Okay. I basically did some research on the subglacial lakes. Lake Vostok is the largest and deepest. It's 4 kilometers under the ice. The size of Lake Ontario, which she mentioned. It's kept liquid by geothermal heat and pressure. It's been found to contain unique microbial life. These microbes have survived in total isolation without sunlight for more than 120,000 years. They survive by oxidizing inorganic compounds like sulfur and iron from the bedrock. I mean, that's stuff that life on Earth isn't supposed to be able to do. One question this raises is that if these life forms can survive in what seems like a totally inhospitable environment, where else could life exist that we haven't considered? Maybe even icy subsurface oceans like the ones on the moons of Jupiter and Saturn. They mentioned a couple of them by name, but I'm not even going to try that. Another question is, how did they get there? Is there perhaps a completely subglacial world? Just because humans can't live there doesn't mean no life can. What else could be under the ice? Some speculate that these life forms might even be extraterrestrial. Why do these things not exist anywhere else? They aren't just germs, they've been found to form complex structures on the lake beds. It's kind of like carpet and even tree-like. And on the subject of germs, who can say that they won't uncover some previously unknown virus, maybe even the one that could have caused the death of the dinosaurs, perhaps a doomsday virus for the human race. I mean, honestly, you know. There have been more than 400 of these lakes found under the ice in Antarctica. They contain up to 4,000 different species of bacteria and archaea, sometimes at a density of 130,000 cells per milliliter of water.
What's archaea?
I don't know.
Is it like arachnid?
No. It's microbial.
All right.
This is just what they found already. What have they not found yet? And what have they found and kept quiet?
Yeah.
Something else under the ice are mountains and canyons. There's an entire mountain range under the Antarctic ice. The Gamburtsev Range. I can't say that, but it's a mountain range. It's 750 to 800 miles long. Some of the peaks are over 11,000 feet tall, which is almost the size of Pikes Peak in Colorado.
Completely covered in ice.
All are buried under nearly 2 miles of ice.
That's crazy.
It's not a volcanic range. They're continental mountains.
There are volcanoes,
Yes.
or at least a volcano
Yes.
in Antarctica.
But these are what they call continental mountains. They were formed 500 million years ago, probably because of continental collision.
Yep.
They do show signs of past erosion, like deep valleys. This tells us that Antarctica wasn't always frozen. There are rivers beneath the ice that connect many of the subglacial lakes.
And they flow.
These allow some of the lakes to actually drain and fill. Deep underwater channels feed warm ocean water to the glaciers. This reveals that there is a dynamic living system beneath the ice that connects to global oceans and climates. So stuff we can't even see is connecting it to the rest of the Earth. Scientists say that all this subglacial landscape suggests that Antarctica was not always frozen. They say it could have once supported forests and animals. Maybe it still does. Just for the sake of discussion, what if the ice isn't solid? What if it forms a dome over a hidden world? Perhaps preserved prehistoric landscape? Maybe even an alien colony? Like I said, that's just for discussion. I mean, something to think about. Who knows what's under 2 miles of ice?
And since they've explored very little of it, they've taken samples of very little of it. I pose to you, how do they know, especially in the very southern part, how do they know all of it's always been frozen for all this time? You know? There's fly zones through it. You can't set foot on Antarctica. You can't just sail there, get off the boat, and go walking around for yourself, because you will be fined greatly and probably even go to jail. I pose to you, you probably can't just drive up to it anyway. There's probably I didn't research this. It's probably like a no driving around the island or continent zone, you know, area.
Uh,
It's truly one of the greatest. I mean, there's unexplored land everywhere to be found still. You wouldn't think there is, but as far as I get, let's just say white people haven't conquered and been on every single foot, there are still places that it's really almost impossible to get to, even in Oklahoma, mind you. So, like, we just don't know, you know? But Antarctica is a big, big place. Huge.
just real quick, Lashes is less than 10 away from 4,000.
Wow!
Farmer Chaz has showed up, and J3GS.
Hey! Hey, everybody! Welcome to the tundra that we all have. Permafrost. Let's hope it's not.
Lashes, I don't know if I'm subscribed to you yet, but I will be as soon as this is over.
He's old hillbilly, Lashes.
I explained that a while ago. So
Okay.
for all the new people, I'm the old guy sitting here with the beard.
I'm gonna tell you a couple of things. It's a little side note story here. Back in the '80s, I watched a documentary. Well, it was really a news story. I don't know how to describe it. Back in the '80s, I watched something like that with my grandma. It was about cattle mutilations that happened in Colorado. Well, it was more than Colorado, but the main one they were talking about was in Colorado. And the lady in it who was doing the investigating and the talking in it was named Linda Moulton Howe. I found out later. It's Linda Moulton, Moultonhowe. And she is actually on YouTube, earthfiles.com. And she has stories on all kind of topics, but mainly, you know, having to do with aliens or stuff the government's involved with that maybe they don't want everyone to know about, you know.
It's conspiracy theories.
It is. It's a walk on the wild side. But she did this documentary about cattle mutilation. This lady is a good journalist and scientist in her heart. Now, she's getting older now. A lot of the stuff she puts out are rebroadcast. But she did win an Emmy, guys. And this documentary was so riveting. I don't know. I was probably about 10 or 11, and my grandma and I watched it, and I looked at her, and I was like, did this really happen? And she said, I think so. And I think it's happened in Oklahoma, too, and in Texas. Turns out she was right. So we lived not too far from the place where it all happened. And I'm telling you, when we lived in Colorado, we saw and heard some very strange stuff. Yeah. So, let me tell you about some of the things that well, actually, this part she talked about, but it's a fact, it's known. NASA's Antarctic Impulsive Transient Antenna, which we call ANITA for short, detected unusual radio signals, potentially tau neutrinos, which I'm not a science girl, but those are some big deals, appearing to come up from the Earth. This sparked theories about particles from a mirror or parallel type universe where time runs backward. This is highly speculative, but on one of her shows, she played that noise, and it was creepy. I'll tell you that. Just some squealing. I don't know. I don't know what it was. It could have been hell itself for it just really sounded that crazy. So, they found Martian rocks on Mars. This is also true.
Wait a minute.
Wait, what? Why are they laughing?
Said Martian rocks on Mars.
Martian rocks on Antarctica. Y'all, I'm tired. Do you know what watching all those documentaries does to my mind in the afternoon? I don't want to talk about just the normal stuff of Antarctica, you know. I want to talk about this is Supernatural Saturday, of course. Talk about the weird stuff. So,
Chris would enjoy Linda Moulton.
I think you would too. So earthfiles.com. If you'd like to take a walk on the wild side, everyone, and I highly encourage you to go way back in her video list because She talks about the sky trumpets, you know. She's talked about every weird thing you've ever seen in the news. Okay. Shut up. It was already torn.
That's what I'd say too.
This is out of order.
Is that girls?
No, this is mine. It's mine. It's out of order. I'm just telling you. I might can say a lot of this from. Just give me a minute, Jake. You want to talk about something else you got?
I just like to thank everybody that showed up here tonight.
I would too.
Coach Juliet said she actually has her own live going, but she's going to stay connected to support.
Thank you.
I told her I was sorry. We didn't mean to step on anybody's toes.
I don't mean to step on anybody's toes, but I mean, I was doing this for a couple months now, and I just didn't know Juliet before, so I'm sure she knows I'm not.
Chris, be sure and check out Earth Files. You would really enjoy it.
I found it. I found it, guys. I found my beginning. Okay.
Coach Juliet said hi.
So, guys, Linda Moulton told him. Well, actually, she was interviewing this guy that, to protect his identity, he calls himself Brian. He is a naval officer. He reached out originally to her in 1985 about his experiences. No, he reached out to her at some time, but his experiences started in 1985. He was a retired U.S. Naval Petty Officer, first class. He was a flight engineer. His job was going with a flight crew to pick up people, researchers, scientists, and supplies for said, experiments or whatever they were doing, and taking them to their. Well, first of all, you have to go to get there is it's a long journey. Okay, so there is a base in New Zealand. It's called something, but they will start from there and they'll go at least to this one place in between New Zealand and South Pole, and they will stop and fuel up there and then go on to South Pole, and then from there distribute them to their, the little research places. Now, South Pole is the only place you can land with wheels, like a traditional runway, I believe is what she said, and the other places where you land, you have to land on skis. I don't know anything about that, but they were charged. Oh, this guy also, he entered in the Navy in 1977. He retired in 1997. He provided his DD-214 documents to Linda, his various certificates of service, which also included his Antarctic Service Medal, given to him November 20th, 1984. Okay, so he tried to establish his credentials. And I believe that one document, DD-214, is something that can be researched up to a point.
It's their discharges.
Discharge papers. His C-130 crew encountered high strangeness flying cargo and doing rescues from 1985 until 1997. One of the things that happened to them was watching silver discs darting around the mountain range that separates East and West Antarctica. Is that the one you were talking about?
No, that's a totally different one.
Okay, that one's actually above. Partially above ice. Okay. Yes. I don't know the name of the range of that. During a medevac crisis, the crew was to fly and pick up one injured person, and they were to fly back to South Pole, where the injured person was then going to get into another plane and go be taken to wherever he's going to be taken to, right? Once the crew took off, the captain and the whole crew really talked it over and had decided, since it was such an emergency, they were just going to fly through this no-fly zone that was some distance from the base where they were at, South Pole base. Okay? there was a no-fly zone in this particular area. It was said to be, it was an air, what did they call it? I gotta get to it, because I know this from memory, but I don't know what that little base is called. It's an air sampling station is what it is. It's supposed to be an air sampling station. Well, they asked each other, why can't we fly 30,000 feet over an air sampling station? Let's just cut through there, get to the guy, and get back, right? So that's what they did. And by the way, there's no air sampling station there, so he says. When they got to where it was supposed to be, it turns out there was just this big cavernous hole, and it looked like some kind of base. And they were like, wow. In fact, they said they flew off to the center of it so they could camp over and look at it. Okay? So they go pick up this dude, whoever it is, and whatever he was doing there, the injured person. By the way, they never said what the injury was or whatever, but it must have been semi-serious to fly him out of there, right? So they were flying back, and about the time they were going to be getting to that big old hole in the ground, radio comes in and tells them, no, you guys need to deviate from your course and fly around. They gave them a coordinate, and so they had to fly west or east, whatever, and they had to fly to that coordinate until they said it was okay to continue on to the base. So they didn't want them going near that hole again, right?
One thing I was wondering about that story is why they would send a C-130 to pick up one guy.
I don't know. I don't know anything about that other than the fact that maybe if equipment needed to be picked up or anything like that. And this guy may be full of crap. I can't tell you. I found this story compelling.
Hey,
okay?
Jody's here.
Jody? Are you kidding me? Funny. Anyway, what he said he saw when he looked down was a huge football-shaped hole in the ice 5 to 10 miles from the actual South Pole base. Okay? A huge football-shaped opening. He said it looked like there was some kind of ramp down into it, right? So when he got to base with that guy, there was already another plane there waiting to take that guy, like I said, to his next destination. They fueled up and went back to their origin, whatever base it was they came from. And when they were there, they were supposed to be getting debriefed. Well, someone told them, you need to go sit in this little room and just wait. And so they went and they waited, the whole crew. And this guy walked in and said, you guys didn't see what you think you saw, and you're not going to ever talk about this. They did not make them sign an NDA, but they were warned to never talk about it again.
Jody said we popped up on his feet. Looked like I'm nodding off over here.
He's looking at his phone.
I told him a while ago, I was sorry I kept looking down.
Did you ever sign an NDA?
I'm sure he did.
Okay, this guy flew over 300 missions in and out of Antarctica. He said from September to February, it's daylight 24/7. He described their flight runs in and out to different points on Antarctica, explaining it's a big place requiring refueling to traverse the entire continent from east to west. And I'm sure like the wind patterns are different when you take off from one place. If you're going to come back, you use a lot of fuel. So they had a surgeon and a nurse with them too. I mean, it's just an interesting story. How did that guy get hurt? What were they doing down there? And what's that hole? Like I said, it was the captain's decision to deviate. I'm just making sure I got all the facts. And they were just confused. Why is it a no-fly zone when there's nothing there?
Jody said yes, he did.
I thought a lot of people in the military have to sign NDAs. And I just want to remind you guys, the government's coming clean about UFOs now. You can go, there's news stories, there's images they've released themselves of a little tic-tac thing going in and out of the ocean. So this is not far-fetched. I'm trying to get to something really cool to tell you. Ah, here we go. Admiral Byrd. Jody, do you know about Admiral Byrd? This man, he was in World War II. Supposedly in the whole Kennedy assassination conspiracy thing. And I think it's in the movie, right? The Oliver Stone movie. This guy who was supposed to be in charge of the security from the Army over Dallas that day, inexplicably last minute, he got called to go fly with Admiral Byrd out to Antarctica for whatever reason. And so he's always felt like he was sent out of his way to that place because they didn't want him there in Dallas when all the stuff went down. Now, I don't know if it's in the movie, if it's true, like, I don't know. But Admiral Byrd to me is a shady man. But anyway. So Admiral Byrd. I'm looking for Admiral Byrd. Guys, it was a lot to write that whole story with the guy. Oh! Oh, with the same guy though. Here we go, the same guy. Toward the end of his career, this guy, we call Brian. Oh yes, I can't believe I almost left this out. This is what really closed it up with this guy being kind of a cool cat to me. He had cool stories. I'm sorry if I lost focus. It's a lot of information. Around 1994 to 95, a group of 12 to 15 scientists come up missing. They were supposed to check in every day. They'd radio in with reports and just say, hey, I'm alive, and we're alive for the next day, right, kind of thing. Well, they didn't check in for a couple of 3 days. And so Brian and his little crew, they were all sent to go check on them. And they said nothing was amiss, the radios were fine, no one was there. They went back to base and told them that. Well, a week later, these people, they worked on the radio too and made sure that it was fine, and it was, because they called back to base. Well, a week later, those people called in and said they were ready to go. And when they showed up, they said they had the whole camp packed up. And he said these people did not speak to them, and they got on the plane, and they would not make eye contact, and generally looked like they were in shock. They went and landed. Said that people usually would get off the plane, kind of take a potty break and get a snack. These people stayed on the plane while the cargo got unloaded. This cargo was then put in a bunker by itself, and it was quarantined. Another plane came and picked those people up. That's when the people got off that plane and went on to the other plane, and they were taken off to wherever. We don't know their story after that. So there's another little story that guy had. And he said, you're not supposed to talk about that stuff after hours, but we all did. And we all compared notes, and it was truly, those people were frightened out of their lives, is what he said. And over the transatlantic mountains, over his 300 trips, by the way, he had 4,000 flight hours in Antarctica. That's a lot. Over the transatlantic mountains, silver blinking discs have been spotted repeatedly. Him describing the movement of the discs, I said to myself, because we have seen something in the sky a long time ago in Red Oak, Oklahoma, when there were no cell phone towers, by the way, the year 2000, the way they were zipping around the sky and merging together and almost like they were playing with each other is what he described. So, now I got Operation High Jump. This is the last thing I'm going to talk about, military-wise. Operation High Jump, Richard Byrd, He he led the charge to build an army base there. It was rumored to already have a Nazi base there, and I think there's actually evidence of this a little bit, as well as an alien base, allegedly. One of Bird's flyovers, he allegedly describes to a Chilean newspaper that he looked down and saw a large opening, lush with vegetation and life that should not exist there. He claims he actually flew down in this like valley hole area, again with the hole, okay, and met with a race of Nordic aliens. He said once he got close to where he could see like a kind of a civilization, something took over his plane and it went down for him. He and his men were accompanied supposedly to a room and served like the best drink he said he'd ever had and was told he wouldn't come to harm because of his noble character. They were pissed off about nuclear testing and bombing. This seems to be a theme with any alien subjects. They hover around nuclear facilities. They can turn bombs on and off. They don't like it. They were pissed off about the bombing of Japan in general. They said they would intervene if it ever happened again. I hope somebody does.
Jody says that Antarctic rabbit hole gets deep.
Yes, I was going to say that. That's why I have a notebook worth of stuff just written. Plus, I write big, okay, to be honest, and I want to be able to read my stuff, but I really think I could do part 2 and part 3 about Antarctica. I highly encourage you guys, even stuff, fake news, little, you know what I mean? Because if there's aliens running around the ocean, the government's telling us this, my God, I want to know what else is out there myself. Or it's just fascinating anyway. We seem to be all together as a human species in some age of something. Peach and I was talking, don't you feel like there's something, it's just something. There's something in the air, y'all. I don't know what it is. I feel like we're on just the edge of something. Lashes could probably tell us what it is.
Well, I mean, like I said, everything we're finding is just what they tell you.
Right, we can't go down there. Like I said, they'll take you to jail if you go down there.
Every time we found something
That seems excessive.
Conspiracy theory, they made sure to tell you this just conspiracy theory.
And some of the greatest things that have ever been explored on this planet was done just by people trying to get there, dying to get there. What if you wanted to die to get there? If you wanted to take your money and get a boat, or even fly if you could, if you wanted to try to make it, who are they to tell you not to? Nobody really owns Antarctica. In fact, there's a treaty. You have to get a permit to go down there and do anything. It seems wild to me,
I like the thing you read about why is this the only place on Earth that they agreed to all this?
Yeah. Why is it the only place on Earth we can agree to not trash it up, not pollute it? That's one argument to there being a no-fly zone there, period. Like, if you have to be at, the pollution of a plane. Yeah. And it is sad. 70% of the world's fresh water is in Antarctica. And if it's melting, Lord, we better go catch it. That's what I'm thinking with that ice water. Now, there's one more little thing I got to talk about. I can hang around. This is girls' contribution. Like I said, there's a lot of stuff about Antarctica, and there are a lot of things to consider. Why in the world do Native Americans and Polynesian tribes have stories of having gone there, or maybe even having come from there? Because if it's been frozen for 35 million years, like they say, these Native Americans are remembering stuff from 35 million years ago. That's a long time to pass down an oral tradition or paint some stuff on rocks, I'm telling you. I was really wondering about the timeline of it being totally frozen. So let's do the hollow earth theory. Has to be talked about with Antarctica. Because many ancient civilizations have myths containing references to some kind of world inside the earth, accessed by caverns and caves that later become sacred or revered. In the Greek underworld, the shadowy realm of the dead, ruled by Hades and Persephone, here they would be ferried across the river Styx to one of the realms, Tartarus, for the wicked, asphodel meadows for ordinary souls, Clyson fields for heroes or great men. The Egyptian underworld, the Duat, is a realm the soul journeys through after death, with 12 regions to pass through that correspond to the 12 hours of night. The sun god Ra is said to have passed through that Duat every night on his barge that carries the sun, bringing light and reviving the dead as he does battle with the serpent. At the end of night, the end of the soul's journey, their hearts are judged by the jackal-headed god Anubis, who weighs them against the feather of Maat. Goddess of truth and divine justice, pulled from her wing, it is placed on a scale with the hearts of the dead. If found worthy, they are admitted to the paradise called the Field of Reeds. Just, another basic version of heaven and hell and good versus evil. And all of our actions and journeys kind of being weighed in the balance. Wailed. I don't know why she's having me read all this.
Tampa showed up.
Can you tell me what this has to do with Antarctica? Here we go with Shambhala. Now, Shambhala, this is interesting. It's a legendary kingdom in Buddhist and Tibetan mythologies that is depicted as a place of peace and spiritual enlightenment, only to be accessed by those who are enlightened themselves or those with pure karma. Supposedly, when the world is ravaged by war and greed and all is lost, the 25th Kalki king, Maitreya, will emerge from Shambhala, leading a great army to vanquish dark forces and usher in a new golden age. As usual, when we talk about something on these things, I'm struck with how everybody has basically the same belief in in religions and loose interpretations of good and evil, and then the end times and what's going to happen and all of that stuff. You can call it whatever you want. There is a creator, and there's somebody who is the uncreator, and we're all supposed to be good to each other. A Hopi origin story says that everyone on Earth had emerged into our current world from a earlier world. And this is where I think the hollow earth thing comes from, because when you consider that we don't really know for certain what our core of our earth is made out of, and then the layers that work around it, we only know what we know. We've never drilled down to the core. I imagine something very, very terrible would happen if we did. Something really terrible.
This is Panda, Coach.
It's Panda. Panda is tired of me doing this. Because you know what? Panda was tired of me watching documentaries all day. He was tired of me writing stuff down in my little notebook and not loving on him. And in general, my animals, they don't like storms of any kind. So, it's always fun around here.
Did you hear me telling you Tampa showed up?
Yeah, Tampa. Hi, Tampa. Tampa, what do you believe is down there in Antarctica? Is there an alien base there? By the way, just like Antarctica, the oceans around it, so unexplored. So much of our oceans are unexplored. There's a figure that I've said before in one of these about how much is explored. Oceans are scary. I'm like Khloe Kardashian. I am scared of the ocean. I'm scared of whales. My daughters made me watch documentaries or false documentaries about megalodons, and I'm even scared of mermaids, to tell you the truth. If they're real, I don't want no part of mermaids. So anyway, the Hopis. We emerged from a inner world, an earlier world, described as a lower world. Tawa, a sun spirit, was hailed as the creator god who made the first world and its original inhabitants from Tokpela, or endless space. But these first inhabitants of the first world were insect-like. Oh, this is right, the ant people. I don't want to talk about the ant people. See, I didn't write nothing about that because I wasn't going to tell y'all. The first world were insect-like and lived unhappily in caves. So Tawa created the spider grandmother, who then led the first creatures on a long journey to the second world, where they took on the appearance of wolves and bears. These beings were no happier than the first one, so Spider Woman, she sent one more to lead them to a new and higher world. Oh, she was sent once more, sorry, to lead them to a new and higher world, and when they arrived, they had become people. Spider Woman taught them weaving and pottery, and a hummingbird gave them a fire drill to make fire. So here we have the journey of evolution for the Hopi people.
It kind of goes with what I was asking. What if the ice is like a dome?
Evil broke out amongst the people in the third world, and Tawa sent a great flood to kill the wicked. A hollow reed was set at the entrance of the third world and into the fourth, and Spider Woman led the good people up the reed and into the fourth and current world. They climbed out.
Flood story.
Flood story. And then some people sometimes to speculate that there was a flash flood that froze much of Antarctica. I'm telling you, they don't know how long that thing's been frozen. I don't think they know how it became frozen. There's speculation of pole reversal. There's speculation that we might be going through a pole reversal now. I don't know what that would mean. It probably can't be good. And you guys know that Google Earth does not work very well over Antarctica. But big reason for, I don't think it's a conspiracy why it doesn't work. There's something about magnetic north and south. Plus, there's not a lot of satellites either in either poles, so it's just not mapped well, or it interferes with the mapping of it well. But some people would tell you that this is lies and they just don't want us to see it. Cherokee, Nunahi, Cherokee Nunahi tradition. The Nunahi were benevolent and immortal spirit people who were said to make their homes in an underground world that could only be accessed from caves hidden deep in the mountains. These hidden kingdoms were referred to as townhouses by Cherokee, and they would often make them beneath high mountain peaks where no timber ever grew. They were said to be fond of music. Cherokee hunters would tell tales of hearing their drumming and singing deep in the mountains, but could never find them because it would shift, coming from ahead or the next minute from behind them. I like that. Again, being fond of music and dancing, it was said they were known to join in when the tribes would dance and sing. So these weird people hung around the Cherokee? What is going on? A group of women were once said to have appeared at a village called Nautilus, where they danced outside with the men there for 2 hours before departing. A group of young men watched them disappear into the mists behind the Nautilus River, and then realizing that their charming dance partners were just gone. They were Nunahi. Other legends of the Nunahi spoke of them helping lost hunters, explorers, wanderers. They would take them in until they were healthy, and then return home if they wished to. I guess she's telling me that people that lived in Antarctica just went down in the earth and distributed themselves all over the planet. So I think I'm about done. Okay, here we go. I made it. How does Hollow Earth tie into Antarctica? Then she tells me about Operation High Jump. So we already talked about that. So what do you guys think? None of this is scientific or verifiable at all. It's just stories upon stories. Very interesting. Giving humanity's long-held and widespread belief in a world inside the world. It should also be noted that Edgar Allan Poe, Jules Verne, Rudyard Kipling?
Yes.
Okay. Edgar Rice Burroughs all have written scientific stories about a hollow earth. Even the guy who discovered Halley's Comet theorized about hollow earth. Yeah. And especially that area of Antarctica that's so much below sea level. There had to have been like no sea at all for that thing to like not have water in it. You know what I mean?
I thought it was interesting that all that's fresh water.
Fresh water. Yeah, it's not ice water. I mean salt water. In fact, there's something weird about the way salt water freezes that like pushes the ice out of itself or salt out of itself. Didn't you say that? Look at all this paper. It's gonna go in the compost bin, guys. It's good for the worms. We won't talk about the ink. Y'all got any questions?
Biodegradable.
So I didn't tell you, like, there's this structure in Antarctica that looks like a pyramid. And there is the remains of what looks to be a very, very, very prehistoric, rudimentary village. There's things coming to fall now, I think, in the next, well, we probably won't be alive, but maybe our grandkids will be, or great-grandkids will be walking on Antarctica someday.
I read one thing that said if the ice in Antarctica melts, sea level's going to come up by 200 feet.
200 feet? And then if you add that to Greenland, you know, if the ice melts there, I don't even want to bring up Greenland right now.
Anybody watch Waterworld?
Yeah, have you guys watched Waterworld? But there would be, the coastline would just be changed. What if Oklahoma was the new coastline?
Maybe George Strait be right. Oceanfront property in Arizona.
Oceanfront property in Arizona. Antarctica's weird, guys, and I just thought we would talk about it since we're all kind of living in Antarctica right now.
I can see where the hollow earth theory and came from a lower world. I mean, that could be referencing, you know, like I said, hollow ice. You know what? That ice is just a cover.
And like I said, when Antarctica was tropical, I don't know if it was the one whole continent thing they were talking about, you know? What is that called? Tungsia?
I can't.
Anyway, or was it another time past that when they had started to drift back apart, you know?
No, just asking said Great Flood, but if I'm not mistaken,
The Great Flood.
I am not a Bible scholar by any means, but isn't the rainbow God's promise to never destroy the earth with water again?
Yeah.
We're going to destroy it before the ice ever melts. Give people a chance, man. They could tear up anything.
Do you guys remember when they started taking our cans of hairspray away from us ladies and stuff like that? Was it the 70s and the 80s?
CFCs.
And they were telling us it was causing greenhouse gases and all that stuff.
Hole in the ozone.
Well, my daughter and I, we've been watching weird documentaries for a really long time. And we think there was some unauthorized nuclear testing going on by probably every country that was doing nuclear testing, us included, Russia, you name it, right? Well, after the 40s and 50s, it kind of ramped up again because they were super afraid that someone else is going to push the next button, right? I think it was in the 70s and 80s they found that hole in the ozone layer. There's stuff to point me and Haley in the direction of we caused that hole in the ozone layer from that nuclear blast and the testing and all that. And the propellants and all that stuff, whatever they took the hairspray off the market from, they were just accelerating all that, right? Like all the pollution, even the volcanic emissions, all the cow poop added up together. Then you got to add up the nuclear blast, and one of the holes in the ozone layer was not too far from Antarctica. Just wanted to point that out.
Like I said, humans will destroy the Earth a long time before the ice melts.
It's not the first time either that we've reported here on this channel, or the first time I've heard anywhere that aliens really don't like us with our nuclear weapons. They don't like our testing, and they really didn't like Hiroshima and the other one.
Nagasaki.
Yes.
Pointless. Totally pointless. Millions of people affected for a test.
Like lifetimes, millions of people have been
Generations.
And I truly don't think they've ever told the truth about how many people were affected. So you're telling me that had nothing to do with those holes in the ozone layer? There was even some speculation that somebody, I'm not going to name any names, starts with an R, ends with an A, had set one off up in the atmosphere. And that just seems crazy to me. So guys, I hope we all make it through this storm with power.
I agree. Have fun. We were just talking about how it feels like something's coming.
Something's coming.
And you think about it. You were saying that we all need to learn to be self-sufficient, grow our own food, preserve, live off the grid. When society collapses, we're going to be the leaders. We're on the way there anyway, not as leaders, but growing your food and self-sufficiency. And
back in World War II when the stuff got dire and, whoever that woman was with the little Victory Roll hairdo, the little bandana, working in the factory.
Rosie the Riveter.
Rosie the Riveter, okay? There was also a thing called the Victory Garden.
Yeah.
They wanted everyone to plant what they could grow. Everyone.
PBS.
They sent out seeds for everyone to just grow a little something. And they had on PBS.
They had a show called Victory Garden.
There was a garden show called Victory Garden. I used to watch that with my grandma. Basically because that's what she was watching and I was there. But this is what needs to be happening. And I feel like that's what YouTube's doing, right? And that excites me. I'm glad to be a part of it in just a small way, Because look at me, I've got health challenges. I'm a scatterbrained woman. I'm not very responsible because, I did my time with responsibility for 30 years and I'm not fond of it anymore, I'm a laid back gardener. But even I have success. So I pose to anybody that may watch this or pose to you guys watching me talking about this. Tell your friends. Encourage everybody that you can, that we need, not everybody can grow, I know. Physically may not be able to grow. Where they live physically may not be able to grow.
It's kind of like that old saying, you give a man a fish, you'll feed him for a day, you teach him to fish, you'll feed him the rest of his life.
But I pose to you, even the people that can't grow can support somebody who does.
That's what I'm saying. It's our community.
Yeah.
We're going to be the saving grace. I fully believe this.
Absolutely. I like to bring my rock music, my love of music into it. And I hope I'm writing songs right now about my garden, about myself, about my farm. I've got 5 or 6 tunes and I'm ready to go. And I don't care what they sound like. My point is, I want to suck everybody with any kind of talent at all who doesn't think they can garden. They're going to see me doing some wild stuff someday and they're going to go, wow, look at her. She's interesting. I want to be interesting too. Let me garden. Hey, Shannon. How you doing, Shannon? How much did you get all together, Shannon? I saw you on the video and I saw it. She had just gotten like a dusting at that point. Yeah. Show me all your weirdo talents. Cause that's how we're gonna draw in the younger crowd and even the old crowd for gardening. Like the ones who've given up from gardening, you know? Look at Miss T. She touches a lot of hearts with her want to for the gardening. You know? We got on her and like kinda made fun of her for not being a gardener. And having all these gardener friends, and every time she tried to talk to us on a live about anything, we'd swing it right back to gardening.
I don't know where you're from, Shannon, but ours is still going on too. It's not heavy, but it's pretty
She's
constant.
from Kentucky, she said. She lives in a little pretty place, kind of at the foot of a, I don't know, it's probably not a mountain per se, but it's a good little rise.
I went to Kentucky about a year ago.
She's got herself a little creek growing down the bottom of her property that just, I mean, I'd love to have a little running creek, Shannon.
I was in Kentucky about a year ago when me and Tim went to pick up that equipment.
Oh.
And beautiful country. Beautiful. We were around Louisville.
And what's that Elvis song?
Kentucky Rain?
Kentucky Rain! I don't know how it goes. Don't quote me on that.
Yep. We can help each other with skills we've learned. Exactly.
We can.
Learn and teach, guys. Learn and teach.
Learn and teach. I'll tell you what, a good way to suck them in is tell them, you know, I don't know if I'm doing this right, but watch me do it anyway.
Shannon says she came in just in time. You're talking about weirdo talent. So I'm definitely
weirdo talent. Shannon, I could play clarinet. I could play saxophone.
Harlan, Kentucky. You never leave
Harlan
alive.
Band dork. A lot of rock songs that come on the radio I played in band because my band teacher was a rock fan, so we played Aerosmith.
Well, I'm glad you showed up. Have fun.
I'm glad too.
So she's going to take a break from YouTube tonight, but tonight really wanted to show support for her friends.
I need a break from
Greatly appreciated.
Antarctica. I'm probably gonna be dreaming about Antarctica tonight, you guys.
Played clarinet in high school.
You played clarinet? Oh man, I was really good, y'all. Really a good clarinet
Have
player.
fun. I know that's not true.
I didn't know what value being a good clarinet might have in my future life, so I didn't really appreciate it like I should have. But I always went to state and won all my solos. Let me tell you, a clarinet solo, you have to play about 1,000,000 notes really, really fast at a clarinet solo. You know? Play a little piano and get to you, Shannon. I hope to start having a hootenanny around here of some kind, whether it's just myself or having a few other musicians. I don't know about the timing of YouTube, like going on lives with other people, you know? Like the delay, if it would work for music. But I am willing to experiment. Because I want to jam with people.
She says she sucked but faked it nicely.
Me and this other little band dork in my school were always fighting for first chair. If she didn't have it, I had it. Until, you know, about the time I turned 15 or 16, I had other things to worry about.
Have Fun says they have no talents, but didn't we just watch...
You had no talent, have fun. I don't believe...
Didn't we just watch a video about canning elk meat?
She went and canned her some elk meat. She's got talents. Maybe you cannot play a horn. I bet you, though. Have you ever played a recorder? Anybody ever played a recorder? Those things are... Oh. But see, my daughter... I don't know if you guys have ever played Zelda. She bought an ocarina. It's this little hooty-hoo that you hold like this. She bought an ocarina. I can almost play the Titanic song on that thing.
Shannon says her whole family is musically talented except me. I missed that one. Hey, I'm tone deaf. The rest of these people are like virtuosos, and I'm tone deaf.
I taught my girls to play a little They played guitar. Me and my oldest daughter got into ukulele, but my youngest daughter actually took guitar in school in Colorado. That was really cool.
She was so good at it, her teacher told her, how about you just go home each week and learn a song, come back and play it on Friday, and that'll be your grade.
Those are great. She played Smoke on the Water. You know the little intro? Wah, 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 wah. She can play that on guitar. So I don't know how you do that. I can play like chords on the guitar, but I can't play bar chords, and I can't play like, I'm not going to be taking no solos or nothing. You know, strictly rhythm. She doesn't want to make it cry or sing. Little Dire Straits reference for you.
You know, all the cool ones.
I like just talking like this. So this, you know, if you come on Saturdays, it won't always be on Supernatural Saturday vibe. It will maybe just simply Saturday where I've had enough and I don't want to research something for 2 days. And I just want to talk to y'all about something. I couldn't pass up Antarctica though with the frosty vibe. Y'all, it got my heart. Earlier I looked out the window and there's like 20 or 30 little blackbirds all over the place back there. They're hovering. See, okay, y'all can't really see. I don't really show, but on the north side of my property, running up almost all the way down that property line is a concrete block wall that runs like, what, like 15 foot tall?
No, it's about 8 foot tall.
Well, it's over my head. So on the north side there, we have like a wind block, you know, and there's an old house next to us that's actually for sale. I would love in my heart to buy it, and then I wouldn't have to have a big farm. I could just knock down a house one way or the other, and the concrete wall back there, I could hide me a cow. Anyway. So I'm trying to say there's not a lot of wind pressure from the north over here. So really better on my animals back there. You know, I've got my chickens over here. And anyway, so the chickens they stayed in the house all day. We left the door open, but they were like, nah. And he raked out the snow. They weren't having no part of it, and I'm glad. We gave them leftovers today, too, to keep them kind of warmer. Those little blackbirds were just hovering around the fence line there and the tree branches right by the chicken house.
They're going in the house.
The blackbirds?
Yes.
Are there nests?
No, the chickens run them back out. But they were going through the door. I was watching them go through the door. The
that
chickens
freaks me out for bird flu. I feel like you need to have a totally enclosed chicken coop these days.
Have Fun says she loves learning and she's a sponge. Want to be self-sufficient, have fun in nature. You need to look for a book. I had it for years, and then I lost it. A friend of mine actually kept it.
Because we need to do a video about the books we have.
They found it for me again. It's by an author called Ellsworth Yeager, and it's called Wildwood Wisdom. And I swear, you can ask her. She's not even into all this living in nature crap, but you could take that book, go out in the woods, and if you could do the stuff in that book, you could live comfortably. I mean, he has everything in that book. It's worth checking out. Ellsworth Yeager, Wildwood Wisdom.
Like how to hang skins, how to build furniture, how to build a smokehouse.
Make clothing. He has patterns for the clothing. He has
shoes,
brain tanning. I mean, everything. Everything you can see. Just for a little background, he wrote this book right after World War II. He said that America was getting away from its roots and people needed to get back to nature.
Whoa.
So that's why he wrote it. Exactly.
Imagine what he would say today.
Have fun. It is called, the title is Wildwood Wisdom. And it's by a man named Ellsworth Yeager.
You need to spell that.
Ellsworth. And his last name is Jaeger. It's like a Nordic name, Jaeger, like Jägermeister. Ellsworth Yeager.
Jägermeister. Oh my God.
It's a great book. You can ask her. That's why the friend of mine kept it. I let him borrow it, and he's like, wow. So I mean, it's really good.
It's not the only book he has either.
No, I have several, but that is by far the most comprehensive and the most fun to read.
And I've got one kind of like that that's called Back to Basics, which is, I think it's a Reader's Digest thing. And like it's got several soap recipes. It has a little contraption for you to make, for you to put your wood ashes in there just so, and make your own lye, collect your own lye, you know, from the. There's canning recipes in there. It tells you a little about husbandry with the animals, stuff like that.
Now, I remember your mom tried to order that book, and she got a later edition, and it wasn't nearly as good.
Yeah.
Ours even has tinsmithing in it, which is pretty cool.
And he's got a forge he doesn't ever get to go do anymore because he went back to the drilling rigs, and that takes up a lot of time. He's getting into making his own knives and stuff.
I was getting pretty decent at it.
Which, you know, if such a society collapses, there's a lot of metal to be just harvested and had for years and years to come. But it'd be interesting to make your own.
Physical books. I am a firm believer in physical books. I was just telling her my very favorite magazine. It was one called The Backwoodsman, of course. I love this book. It was all the stuff that I'm interested in. Just recently, like in the last year, they put out a thing. They were no longer going to have print copies, going to be strictly online. That goes against everything that book the magazine stood for, in my opinion. I mean,
Farmer's Almanac. I just did a little
if
video about this.
everything goes into crapper, you're not going to have online. You know what I mean?
It's going to be online from now on. I've been getting the Farmer's Almanac for like 10 or 15 years now.
We have shelves and shelves of books. I do love the physical copies.
I've got an encyclopedia set that we found at a thrift shop. Some of them have been used to like prop up my seed trays to my grow lights, I have to say, but I'm pretty sure those books in general are made out of asbestos. So I don't really have an encyclopedia set to say anymore.
Well, that's like a do-it-yourself handyman encyclopedia set.
Yeah, it wasn't encyclopedia. You're right. It was handyman set. Because you guys know we're trying to fix this house up.
We basically bought that set just to help out with Frank that ran the thrift store.
There's nothing really wrong with this house either. It's like cosmetic, you know? It does not have asbestos in it, though. That is such great news.
It's old and needs some TLC.
It does. And we're not good at sheetrock.
Oh, I'm terrible.
That's just the way of it.
I am terrible at drywall.
It's the way it's going to be.
I'll be the first to admit it. I told her right off the bat, I hate drywall and it hates me.
But anyway, what we have is a cottage. It has rustic charm.
It's in the middle of town. It had a washer and dryer in the kitchen.
It had a washer and dryer in the kitchen. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to write songs about all of this. Washer and dryer in the kitchen.
Permaculture. Welcome.
And now the washer and dryer is in the living room. But it's in a room. That's what's important. That's what we got to keep our focus on. I had a big living room. It made sense, right?
It was nice to meet you. Have
oh
fun.
My God, is Jody still here? Does he know about the laundry room?
He had to go walk the dog and cook dinner.
I highly suggest you tell this man that we have a laundry room.
Jody knows I'm pretty sufficient at what I do.
Jody is my landlord's son. My landlord is actually sort of my financier, because this house is a rent-to-own house. But when we moved in, we had to do a bunch of roof work, and when we moved in, we had to replace the floor in the bathroom and the floor in the kitchen.
Jody was also...
So he knows we fix up the house as we go.
My former driller. I've known him for years.
After the pandemic, the price of lumber went stupid. And then going back to the drilling rig became stupid. In fact, the drilling rig he used to work for is now no longer a drilling rig and has been bought by Cactus. This stuff doesn't matter to anybody but Oklahoma and Texas people probably. Those are the roughnecks. But anyway,
Yeah, just so you know, guys, I'm only on the rig for the paycheck.
we don't like the rig either. We don't believe in it.
No, I hate it.
But yeah, the oil field has been kind of stupid, really, for the last 10 years. But it's been stupid for us since the pandemic. So he's got a good job here. It pays a decent wage, but they don't pay quite as much as the oil field, and they don't get quite as much overtime as the oil field. So, with the prices of everything, including utilities, we can't live without an oil field paycheck. And that's just all there is to it. Yeah, I kind of got dark there. I hate the oil field, and I hate that he had to go back. And now he's having health problems too. He's kept his job here part-time. He's been able to carve out 1 week a month to still work for these guys. And by the way, they're based right outside of our little town here. So like, I feel like it's just time that we're gonna have to cut like some costs around here, and just oil field is gone forever, and it needs to be done. I'm sorry to talk about. I'm quit talking about that now.
Yeah. I just want people to know I'm
kind of explaining ourselves here, since we're not talking about Supernatural Saturday anymore, and we've got people here.
Well, we were talking about getting back to nature, and the oil
Getting
field
back
is
to
like
nature is anti-nature.
Polar opposite of that.
Anti-nature.
Food forest permaculture came.
Food forest permaculture. See, food forest permaculture. Do you know? Because I have on occasion foraged some things. I can identify some stuff, though I have never done mushrooms. But yeah, stuff I foraged around here, I collect for myself and I bring it to my yard. So that's my food forest permaculture. Like right now, I have wild onions out there. This is the season for those, you know. And in the summer, I've got, was it goosefoot? What do you call it? What's the other word for it?
If you hadn't just asked me, I could have told you. It's wild spinach.
Anyway, we got that, and
Yeah, I actually I took some of that out of a garden bed we were making and moved it to where I wanted it. I mean, that is like primal gardening. You know? I like this weed. Let's go put it over here.
and the birds have brought me honey vine. I've got that growing out there. It actually has some lactation purposes, and it smells divine, and it's beautiful. And then I have south thistle out there. You know, yes, birds bring me all kind of stuff. You don't have to go foraging, guys. Really, just go walk around your neighborhood. Well, now I've got elderberry out where my new landlord, because you know my old landlord, he sadly passed away, so his son is now my new landlord. Anyway, on the way to his house, we go out there to his land and go pick wild blackberries. And I had just bought an elderberry bush, right, or elderberry tree, and planted it out back. I'll be danged if there wasn't 2 or 3 of them growing right by his pasture gate.
Enough of that.
So we do a little foraging. That's permaculture at its finest, right?
Lamb's quarters.
Lamb's quarters, yes, that's what it's called.
And you can also collect seeds like a quinoa.
Quinoa. I like quinoa, actually.
Heck, dandelions are edible.
You know, one of the signs of something to plant in the spring is watching for dandelions to bloom, and I'd be danged if I didn't see, like, a week ago, one blooming out there in the alley.
This winter has everything out of whack.
This winter has been bad. And it been a bad winter? In terms of it not being really a winter? You hear my dog in the background? Ooh. Oh. Oh. It sounds like a different kind of channel, doesn't it? Well, guys, I went an hour and a half. That's real.
Hey,
An hour and a half.
I really appreciate everybody showing up and a good conversation.
The true facts is now, I'm probably about done with y'all, and
Huh.
my husband said he was making dinner tonight. Now, I know I went live a couple of nights ago, and he was making dinner that night, too. That's an anomaly. I cooked last night. As evidenced in that I didn't go live or do anything. I did have a premiere yesterday.
Sausage and buttermilk pancakes. with real
He's
maple
making
syrup.
pancakes. I want to point out too that I'm watching my girlish figure. I'm trying to do better. I did make a video about making bread, and I only ate one slice of that stuff. I want y'all to know. And I have really high doubts whether I'm eating a pancake tonight.
Well, girl will be so upset if we don't make that.
But my daughter in there, she's gonna put them away. Anna, I'm sorry my live didn't work when I first tried. I don't know why. My computer just wouldn't go, and now it is going.
So, Chris, check out Earth Files. Linda Moulton Howe.
Earthfiles.com.
Have fun. Look up Ellsworth Yeager's Wildwood Wisdom. And I'm going to go start dinner, guys. Have a good one.
Hey, don't leave. You gotta. Oh. You turn that one off, and I'll turn the other one off. Don't
How
leave
do I
me.
stop this?
You have to say end stream down there with the mouth. I love you guys. Thank you for coming. You can't gracefully turn it off doing it like this.
Where is it in?